into fishing because when I skipped out of school, I went fishing or hunting. I didn't go out drinking or doing goofy things, you know, so I was never in trouble. Do you remember being in trouble, Mom? Why are you giving me those eyes? I was never in trouble. Last time I ever was in trouble was when I got married. That was it. But also for, you know, encouraging me to follow my dream of being an artist. You know, it went well for a while.
2008. That was a key year.
So I mean, every time Dad was one, you know, my #1 critic, and when I was young, I learned to endure that, you know, and figuring that, you know, he knows what he's talking about or whatever. Remember when I was in college, I was in Stevens Point. I brought my art back home. Basically, he said, "This sucks."
Okay.
You know, you got to take it another notch. So when I went to MIAD, or to Milwaukee School of the Arts, I worked really hard to make not just myself to be better, but to make my parents proud. So, and so pretty much there I was able to win the scholarships, everything, but I worked day and night to learn how to draw and learn how to paint.
That's why you went to MIAD.
I went to Milwaukee School of the Arts, was turned into MIAD.
MIAD was where your mother and
Milwaukee School of the Arts, you helped get it accredited, which then turned into.
Through high school and Stevens Point, he kept doing the same thing over and over and over. Not the same picture, but the same style, the same mistakes, the same positive stuff. And then we sat and talked about it and decided that he should go somewhere and learn to really paint. Do something beyond what he was able to do.
And don't you remember telling him if you're going to paint?
Great drawing, great black and white stencil drawing. But he never learned to paint.
Still learning, trying.
So you never really.
But do you remember when you said it, because I was there and he was very upset. If you're going to be painting any kind
being downtown, I went down and sat down on my bed down there with a pad of paper, and then I did Dad's favorite thing. I took a nap. I fell asleep for an hour.
Where'd you learn it?
Well,
Dad, when Dad would fall
Our
asleep
human
in the
ancestors.
cabin, you know, we'd hit the table and then he'd jump up. So,
he's
but
painting?
I mean, honestly, this is really a special time. And the reason I say that is because I've had the opportunity to not only get into these properties, but not only Dad, but Mom as well. Always interested. I don't even come home from a job, no matter how many I've had or whatever, and they always want to sit down. They want to know exactly, you know, so how did it go today, or you know, what happened. And that was even when my dad was working, the same thing when he was down with Scott. So that it's become, I think, kind of an integral part for Cameron and I, especially Cameron, to be able to spend some extra time with Mom and Dad through the latter years. But I guess I've got a lot of different memories. When I think of things at any time, I think of things when he first took me out to Lake Mississippi, and the very first time Dad and I were out there and we're trying to get out in the duck boat, and the duck boat tipped over.
oh my God.
Are you kidding? You both went in the drink?
We did. Dad was using one of those pushers, and
3 feet of water.
he stepped, and right away I start paddling like I'm in 20 feet of water. He goes, "There's only 3 feet. You can stand up." So I didn't know that, but there were things that that I think he really cared about, because I know he spent a lot of time with Scott and Mark, and I was years later, but I can remember that particular time. We didn't even hunt that day, or that morning.
You couldn't find your guns there on the bottom.
Well, he drove me into Watertown and bought me a new pair of boots and made sure that I was dry and I was, you know, and everything. So, I mean, I think of that, and I think of, I think a lot of the things that you guys have mentioned as well. But me personally, I think it's the patience more than anything. I don't know. I find my own self having the patience sometimes that I need on certain things, but I freak out on other things.
Yeah.
I have never seen my dad freak out, ever. He's always at an even keel, and no matter what the situation, I mean, I can remember I was working at Chi-Chi's. And 16 years old, and I'm driving Mom's car there.
Oh, yeah.
And I came out, it's Thursday night, it was margarita night on Thursdays.
Yes.
And I came out at 10 o'clock, and here the front end of my mom's car is all pushed in. Because somebody backed into the front end of her car. I drove around for about an hour, and then I thought, well, I'm going to have to face it. So I pulled the car.
Liability.
I didn't go to my mom. I went to my dad, and I pulled him inside the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you know, I came out, the car, and
I remember
somebody
that.
backed into it. He goes, well, are you all right? So he was always concerned about my well-being more than what could happen. And I remember I started to almost cry because I was scared. I thought maybe I was going to really be in hot water, you know. So
He
there's been a lot
never
of-
took his BMW out when he didn't know it, did he?
Nope. Nope. So I think, you know, when I really think about all those things, because of the span of years between Sherry and Scott and Mark, that 7 years, that 12 years, that 14 years, you know, I think Sherry probably paved the way for me, I think, more than anything.
How to jump out a window at night?
She waved you.
I never jumped out my window, you guys.
So,
How did you get out?
I walked out the sliding glass door.
Oh, you opened the window so you thought you jumped out.
No, I never went out the window.
Or that's where you came in.
But you babied him.
I went out the sliding glass door in the back and I put my pajamas in a neat little pile. Then I came back, put my pajamas on, and came back.
And Lori Clark was no better. She was right with you.
She never went with me once. I used to go down to the cemetery at Old St. Dominic and write pages and pages of poetry.
Oh, sure.
With a full moon. I did. That's what I did. Walked around the neighborhood. I couldn't sleep at night. I still have that problem. I even did that in Watertown at Grandma's. I'd walk up to the cemetery and I'd sit writing poetry.
Well, I remember that time we broke into the
Yeah,
mausoleum at that
Oh,
cemetery.
no, I don't remember that.
You know, right up the road from where Grandma Carey was sick and we moved
Yeah,
to town and
Pink
Grandma
House.
Gladdy had the place there. Oh yeah, we jimmied the door to get in there to see what the hell was in there.
Oh. Ooh.
Now we go there, it's just a little building. I
Dad was
remember it
saying
looked
something.
huge to me.
Okay, Grandpa.
so anyways, I guess just to
Yep.
finish it up.
Yes, please.
On my end,
Come on.
you know, it's a lot of years, and I don't think a lot of people think that they'll live the amount of years that both you and Mom have. I mean, I remember at 60, you didn't know if you make it to 70,
Yeah.
and at 70, you
When
didn't know
did
if
you
you
have
make it to
heart
80, and now
surgery?
80, and you're at 90.
Yeah, one dad had open heart surgery.
How old were you?
64, I think.
That's my age. I think I need it.
Pretty sure.
Only the good die young.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can-
Good.
But,
Oh.
so, I mean, I have,
I never tried to keep track of all those ugly.
Why? Because Mom kept track of them.
yeah.
Forget about it.
She's more. Really?
Dad had heartburn, he went in for heartburn. And he said, great, you need bypass surgery. He got done with bypass surgery, he had heartburn. He goes in, they go, we think it's an allergy. He goes, that's just great. I came in here for heartburn and I had HIPAA bypass.
It was the
Yeah,
Prevacid. Now they say
Stent.
Prevacid.
Aw.
Took it.
But anyways, that's what I guess I remember. I mean, as I think back, I remember, as Scott said, the breezeway parties, because they'd say, go to your room. I can remember Sherry down in the basement with her friends. How old she was, I don't recall, but watching Saturday Night Live, and they'd all put me to bed when Mom and Dad were in the breezeway parties, and
Yeah.
then I'd sneak
Well,
back down and I'd look at all
Breezeway
all
across
the
the
people that were
street,
watching
Skip and
Saturday
Judy.
Night Live. With
They
Gilda
had that back
Radner
then?
and all them.
Yeah.
Said I couldn't watch it.
I was
He
laughing.
was little. He was
You mean MTV?
And
There was no MTV then.
What's a breezeway party?
That's
That was
Skip and-
Cox
That's
That's
house.
Skip and Judy's.
Hot box.
They'd only let you
Used to
look
go
at
over
their
there and
pool,
have
they
a
wouldn't let you
cocktail.